We begin the news at this hour in West Africa, where Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu has launched the Renewed Hope conditional cash transfer for 15 million households. The launch was held at the press gallery of a state house in Abuja on Tuesday, coinciding with the World Poverty Eradication Day. Meanwhile, the president was represented at the event by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume. Also in attendance were the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Eradication, Betta Edu, the Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, World Bank Country Director, Shubham Chaudhry, and the United Nations Resident and Humanitarian Coordinator for Nigeria, Matthias Schmil, among other dignitaries. Some more stories now. President Bola Tinubu, immediately after taking oath of office, declared a state of emergency on food security in Nigeria to tackle the increase in food prices, among others. Now, one of the major factors contributing to these food scarcity and shortage is a crisis between farmers and herders. Now, reports have it that suspected herders invaded a farm in Iwajowa local government area of Oyo in the southwest region with their cattle, killing the owner in the process. This, however, has led to the violent attack, as one person has been reportedly killed, while scores were injured as suspected herders ambushed a combined security outfit codenamed Operation Burst at Akbalokun village in the community. Also, crops worth thousands of naira were destroyed in the process. And now joining us further to discuss this is African farmer Mogaji, a food security expert. African farmer, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Now, just yesterday, we were talking about World Food Day, and we also mentioned some of the challenges that the world faces, especially Africa, when it comes to provision of food and making food available. And one of the major challenges we mentioned in Nigeria, especially, is the issue of insecurity. And here it is surfacing again. Now, how do you think that the conflicts between farmers and herders has impacted food security in Nigeria?
Well, in the last 8 years, it's been a major challenge. I would say takes care of about 50% of our food insecurity because no solution has been able to reduce the farmer-herder clashes. So it's taking well over 50% of the reason why we are food insecure in Nigeria now.
So you just said that there is no solution that has been able to reduce the clashes, but what are the potential solutions or potential strategies that can be deployed to mitigate the effect of these conflicts, especially on food production and food availability?
Well, so the farmer herder challenge is a cocktail of issues. So you have the farmer herders who are indigenous to various localities. So you have in Oyo State, in any village in Oyo State, in any states of Southwest or even across the country, you have you have herders who were given birth to there, probably the third generation who have not left that location. They speak the local dialect more than the indigenous. Those are one. Then the major challenge are the foreign herders who come to Nigeria to perpetrate this evil. So those are the ones that we may not be able to trail. However, working with the indigenous herders, would find solutions. So bottom line, we need to graze. Government has been talking about cattle rearing is a business and, animals should not be moving around. However, we are not creating the pasture needed. So if we produce more grass and every other thing that the cattle will eat, then we can sell to them. It does not mean they would buy, okay? Or many of the local herdsmen, I've worked with many of them across like 5 states, including Northeast, and you find out that many of them even have farms. So creating fodder, that is grasses and coal, to be sold to them will be a partial solution, and also to understand that we treat the local herders sometimes as outcasts. You can only bring them in to solve the issues. So bottom line is we need to bring the local herders who are Nigerians, who have stayed in various local governments over the years to the table and ask them for solutions. that has not really been done and implemented. I can tell you this: L&Z in Kano, Abuja, they worked, commercially with local herders, and they provide many solutions that have not been implemented. So if they ask like MD Abubakar, they have a community of herders that they are working with. If they bring them on the table and implement the solution working for them, we won't have this issue. Government needs to be really serious about resolving this and engaging the people who are currently solving it. That is very crucial.
Right. Now we're still talking about deploying means to tackle food insecurity and the scarcity of food in these regions. Now, in your own opinion, first off, we understand that technology has become a vital part of our community, of our world in general. And without it, it's going to be like we're struggling, to meet up. But now we have technology. So in your own opinion, what role do you think technology can play in addressing food security issues, especially in the context of farmer-herder conflicts?
Well, technology plays a little, and we overemphasize technology around here. When over 70% of production of food is produced by rural people and produced on rural farms. Many of them, don't speak English. They speak their local dialects. Many of them have Android phones, but they really don't use it to be able to communicate. So if you are talking about technology, we should be talking about intermediate technology, meaning it's semi-automated. That is what will work here. We've been focusing too much on technology as if Nigeria is Europe or United States. Many of these farmers will not leverage this technology because many of them are even old. Majority of them are over 60. So all the technology that we talk about won't work here because the people we need to develop are the youth, and we've not invested in ensuring that the youth embrace agriculture. So when it comes to farmer herder, many of these farmers are still using old seeds and not hybrid seeds. So when government does interventions, it's always the old seeds that does not give them high results, high harvest. So bottom line is that technology is good, but we need to adopt technology that can be adapted to our local scenarios here. Capacity development of the youth, mostly rural youth, is fundamental. That's the first thing. And I've not seen any intervention that addresses rural youths, Igbo, Hausa, Efik, in local languages. Everything is apply online. And these people are not online. So until we localize the knowledge, we will not be able to get technology into their hands, and it will still be a mirage. So without capacity development, we will not be able to get the right technology and adapt it to the environment.
All right. Thank you so much, African farmer Mogaji. Very unique name, by the way.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on the news.